A year of power, precision, and perseverance in men's collegiate gymnastics. It all comes to a head today. 6 outstanding teams battling for just 3 spots in tomorrow night's national championship finals. The favorites are here, the underdogs are ready, and the home crowd is fired up. This is where the road to the national title begins, and it starts right now. And welcome everybody inside the State Farm Center here on the campus of the University of Illinois. We're in Champaign, Illinois for the 2026 NCAA Men's Gymnastics Championship. Now, teams today will be competing in 2 separate sessions. What we're about to see is Session 1, which features the #1 team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners. Later tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN Plus features the following 6 teams: Michigan, Stanford, Penn State, and so on. Just 3 teams from each of these sessions qualify to the championship round, which is tomorrow night in prime time on ESPN2. You're not going to want to miss that. And hi, everybody, I'm Bart Connor. I'm always proud to be joined by Olympic medalist and world champion Brody Malone. Good to have you with us, Brody.
Yeah, excited to be here.
We did this together a year ago, and since then you got married, you bought a house, and oh, by the way, you won another world championship title on the high bar. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now, you've competed all over the world. So how do you compare the NCAA competition to, say, the Worlds or the Olympics or World Cups?
Oh, my gosh. I can remember when I competed at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. A reporter asked me, were you more nervous competing at the Olympic Games or at the NCAA Championships? And without a doubt, I answered an NCAA Championships. There's absolutely no atmosphere that can compare to a competition like this, and we're going to see some world-class gymnastics today.
Now, speaking of world-class gymnastics, there's several athletes that are national team members, national champions, and Olympic-level athletes that you'll see today, including Oklahoma's Fuzzy Benes. He was 5th in the NCAA in floor. This year he's competing only in 4 events for the Sooners because he's dealing with some injuries. Max Auden from Nebraska, one of the best in the NCAA on high bar, and from Ohio State, it's Parker Thaxton. He leads the NCAA on pommel horse, and it is literally a world-class field, top to bottom. Now, we mentioned Fuzzy. He's been dealing with some injuries. Normally, he's a great all-arounder, but he's had several injuries. This year, he's dealing with a shoulder problem.
Yeah, he's been dealing with a little bit of a rotator cuff and labrum issue. You can see his shoulders taped up there. I mean, this is a long and grueling season for these guys. They've competed all year since January, and they're basically held together by duct tape at this point.
And you mentioned, of course, a long, grueling season. This is tough on the bodies, and so several of these teams are dealing with injuries. And for more on that, let's go down to Lauren Sisler.
Yeah, guys, you talked about it there. The injuries, certainly a huge storyline coming into this one, and especially with this unique format, because you're not talking about managing just 1 day, but 2 days. And so you really have to think about it in terms of strategy. Are you managing the long game? And 3 of the top teams are going to advance, and 3 of those teams, Ohio State, Nebraska, and Oklahoma, all dealing with significant injuries, having to change lineups on the fly. So really the name of the game here is not about just who hits today, but it's also about who makes the most of this moment.
Visit NCAA.com.
All right, the best of the best in college gymnastics are set. The most important meet of the year here, the 2026 NCAA Gymnastics Championships. Session 1 begins when we come back. Fans are filing in here at the State Farm Center in Champaign, Illinois. University of Illinois is the host program, and they'll be competing later on tonight in the evening session. Starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Now, here is the championship qualifier format. There are 12 total teams here in 2 separate sessions. 6 teams in each. Only 3, the top 3 in each session, advance to the finals, which is tomorrow night on ESPN2. A little bit different from people who watch women's college gymnastics. They normally put up 6 athletes and 5 scores count. Here, they count 4 scores, and all 4 scores have to count towards the team total. So there's a lot of pressure in this competition. And remember, we're doing our broadcast here, but you can follow your favorite team on 6 separate streams. So if you want to watch Nebraska on floor, you can launch your browser and find Nebraska and follow every routine from your favorite team. So it's a great way to cover this event because those who are gymnastics enthusiasts, they will watch the broadcast, but if you want to make sure you don't miss any routine from your favorite team, you will not have to do that. Okay, getting started on a really crucial event for this team, California, is pommel horse, and they are just flat out superb here, Brody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And pommel horse can be one of those events that's really nerve-wracking to start on. Definitely. It's something that I would compare to beam for the women. You really want to be able to control those nerves and, you know, control your breathing.
Harry Kim, the junior out of Rowland Heights, California, to lead them off. Remember, 4 athletes go up, and all 4 scores count, so there's very little room for error in men's collegiate competition.
He's off to a great start here. He's doing his 1 pommel work. The judges here are really looking to keep, for the gymnast to keep that extension in the circle, and he's done a really good job so far. Great work here. He should be gearing up towards the end of his routine. Fly up to that dismount. That was a great start for Cal. Yeah, you can see he's really happy with that one.
A lot of relief. Okay, bring in some attitude for the Cal Bears. Way to get started. Oklahoma, the #1 team in the country, will have Fuzzy Benas as their first vaulter, and he's just flat out world class here. Senior out of Richmond, Texas. We mentioned at the top of the show, it seems like his story every year has something to do with injuries, but he seems to come up with great performances when OU needs it.
Absolutely. He is one of those gymnasts that it doesn't matter what's going on, what's hurting him, he's a gamer. And when he raises his hand, he's going to perform.
Oklahoma is in the top 2 in every event based on their averages all season long.
Oh, just a small hop there on the lane, and that's a really strong start for Oklahoma. Let's check this out right here. Oh, good form in the air. You can see he spots that landing. Just a small hop forward. That's a 1/10 hop. That's exactly what you're looking for to start the meet off.
He won the 2026 Mountain Pacific Sports Federation Championship with a 14.35. Excellent difficulty and technique. Remember, there's 6 events in men's gymnastics: floor, pommel horse, rings, vault, parallel bars, and high bar. There are 6 teams out there, and so now we move over to the floor. Max Odden leading off for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Really strong start there with a double front. Very nice. You can see him dropping into those landings. That was a front double full punch to a front full. See a lot of athletes connecting tumbling passes like this.
I mentioned there's a lot going on, so launch your browser if you want to see every routine. Christian Grachowski for Ohio State on parallel bars.
Ooh, a little mistake on the floor right there. I think his knees buckled a little bit on that punch. It's definitely not what he was intending to do.
Max Odden, the junior out of Scottsdale, Arizona for Nebraska. He's really one of their MVPs in terms of scoring contribution. He's 6 foot tall, which is, you know, pretty tall for a gymnast, and he's world class. Big Ten all-around runner-up. Back to the Oklahoma Sooners. Here's a young man who has really been a great addition to the OU Sooners this year, Sasha Boganoziuk from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Of Ukrainian heritage, the assistant coach, Valery Goncharov, was a Ukrainian Olympian, and his teammate was Sasha's father. So there's a lot of family history here, but Nathan Roman and Sasha Bogosnuk have really added a lot to this dynamic lineup for the Sooners. Whoa! Oh, yes!
Yes, that was an awesome ball. Let's take a look at this. So this is kind of the angle that the judges are looking at here. They're looking for his legs coming onto the table, and they just barely separate. Great form in the air, and you can see he spots that landing, and that's what allows him to stick right there. Here's another look. Just really great execution. You're going to see a really high score here.
There's a freshman out of Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Fantastic start for the Sooners on a high-scoring event, the vault. You stick those, they're going to be in the lead after this rotation for sure. Vault is typically a higher-scoring event than the others by somewhere 2 to 4 points.
And now, on the parallel bars, for Ohio State, Drake Andrews.
Drake Andrews will be on parallel bars on the left of your screen for Ohio State. Christian Grauchowski led them off with a 13.033. And on the right side of your screen, it's Cayenne Orion from California. The first two pommel horse workers had 13.366 and 13.0. Cal consistent here.
Yeah, Cayenne was actually one of my teammates at Stanford. I think we overlapped 2 years. Oh, just off. That's a very tricky skill to do there. That's called a sewn. It's basically a full circle on one hand.
Little bobble on the landing there for Drake Andrews as well. And this is where it's important to bring up the point. College gymnastics for men, 4 up, 4 count. So there's very little room for error. Now, everybody's in the same boat, but it's not like in women's collegiate gymnastics where you can drop a low score. Here, they will all total up, and we will determine the best 3 out of these 6 teams will go to the championship finals tomorrow.
Yeah, so Cayenne's really looking to just finish a strong routine here. It's important when you have a fall like this, with this 4 up, 4 count format, you just can't let the routine get away from you. You've got to be able to deliver. And he comes back strong. A good finish there.
California on the bubble here in terms of being a team that could qualify to the finals. They're currently number 8 team in the country. And remember, just the top 6 go through to tomorrow.
Now with the rings from Springfield,
Gustavin Seuss now for Springfield University, on rings. Their first 2 competitors, William Wilson, the third, had a 12.4. Brian Delph, an 11.866. Brigham Frenthere on the right of your screen, coming after Sasha Bogosniuk, had a 14.5. That's a big score. So the Sooners are looking impressive on vault in this first rotation.
No, and that can be a little bit of the strategy that they're trying to play here. Vault is one of those events that, it's fast, it happens quick, and it's a great way to kind of get the nerves out at the beginning of the competition. So the judges are looking for absolutely no swing in the rings here.
Not bad.
That was a good dismount. Yeah, he's pumped about that.
Last year, Springfield did not make it here as a complete team. This year, though.
See, this is a double-double tucked. So that's 2 flips and 2 twists in the air, and then he has to spot the ground to land it there.
This is for the Springfield Pride, their 4th time at the NCAAs as a full team out of the last 5 seasons. Luke James, Cape Town, South Africa, will be up on floor exercise. The scores over there, Max Auden led off the Cornhuskers with a 12.9. Nathan York at an impressive 13.666. Kyler Hinson, one of the best Illinois athletes on the high bar now. Oh! Excuse me, that's Greenville. fall off the apparatus is a 1-point deduction. The athlete has 30 seconds to complete their routine and get back up and finish. So we go over to floor to finish up with Luke James.
See another one of those connection passes here. The athletes, you'll see a lot of them doing the connection passes because it actually gives them a bonus depending on exactly what they do. It could be a 1 to 2/10 bonus. Very nice dismount. I see the way he kicked out of that to spot that landing. Almost stuck it.
Nebraska came into this competition ranked 4th in the country based on their national qualifying average. This is a completely different team than they were last year. Very young and a lot less experienced than their team from last year, which featured people like Taylor Christopoulos and Yanni Chronopoulos, and, you know, they were really experienced last year. Tyler Flores now for the Sooners, coming after Brigham Fentheway had a 13.666.
Wow!
Oh, my! What control on that landing.
Oh, my gosh. Let's take another look at this. So watch the legs as he's coming onto the table. Almost glued together and then form in the air. Lost a little bit at the end there, but you can see him spot the ground, and that's what allows him to stick that landing. That was a phenomenal vault. That's going to be another score that's comparable to Sasha's. It's a really strong start for OU.
No kidding. Flores, the junior out of Mountain House, California. His twin brother Colin on the team as well. Now back over to parallel bars for Ohio State. David Ramirez now will be the 4th and final competitor for the Buckeyes on parallel bars. And Chase Mondi on the floor for Nebraska here on the left of your screen.
Oh, that was awesome.
Right.
Wow, and on the left side, you see that double layout with a full twist there. That is a really hard skill to do.
Chase Mondi was last year's NCAA runner-up on this event. This year he's currently ranked 6th, the junior out of Lawrence, Kansas. And Ramirez with a big dismount on the right side.
Oh my gosh, that is a hard dismount.
So hard. We'll have to take a look at that again. Full twisting double at the end. Very few athletes in the world can do it.
Oh yeah, that's one of those that I was training for a while there, but I could just never figure it out. It's such a hard dismount. He made it look so easy. Good finish for Chase on the floor.
Nebraska will have good solid scores in that first rotation. Different than what you see in women's collegiate gymnastics. Men's gymnastics is based on the FIG rules, the international rules. So in women's college gymnastics, you're used to seeing 10.0 as the max, but here the scores today will be between 13 and maybe 15 for the really good routines.
Oh my gosh, so that right there is a double backflip with a full twist. That is just an insanely hard dismount. He just stuck it. Like he does it all the time.
There's really only a handful of athletes in the whole world that can do that consistently.
Absolutely.
We all dreamed of doing it, but we never could make it at the end of a routine, too. It's hard. You're dying. Part of Oklahoma's strategy at this competition was to start on vault and get some big scores in the book, and that served the Oklahoma Sooners well in that first rotation. Lauren Sisler is with their head coach, Mark Williams.
Coach, you guys decided to go with vault first. You knew it was an event you could hit 2 sticks. How did it work out for you?
Great. We just have to do that again tomorrow.
Obviously, a lot of strategy playing into this session with a lot of injuries. How are you managing that through this first session?
We just need to do what we normally do. Just settle in, hit routines, get through to the next day, and then go big tomorrow.
With 5 events left, what is the key for you all hitting those events?
Just what they do in gym. They've been practicing. They know what to do. At this point, it's just performance, and they love that.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
How does Mark Williams stay so cool when inside he's got to be stressed?
I know he's stressed on that side.
Exactly. All right, well, that's going to wrap up the first rotation here. We're waiting on the score for Greenville on high bar. It's in now. It's a 12-5-3 for Jacob Foster. So the Sooners, as expected, with a huge 56-4-9-8. They will have the lead after the first of 6 rotations here in session 1. Well, Oklahoma picked the high-scoring vault, and it served them well in that first rotation. They have the lead. You can see Nebraska, Ohio State, and so on down the list. The key today is to watch the battle between the 3rd and the 4th place team, because those top 3 teams advance as to the championship final tomorrow. So Oklahoma, if they stay on par, Nebraska as well, would likely advance. The battle we're going to be watching is really that 3rd and 4th spot for that final spot from this session into the national championship tomorrow night. That's really where the drama is, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now, we mentioned the teams and advancing as teams. There's also individual titles that will be determined at these national championships. The top 6 athletes in each individual event will qualify through to the finals tomorrow, as well as the top 6 all-arounders. So after this first rotation, these are the athletes who are competing as individuals, not completely part of a full team for individual All-American and national titles.
Anytime you see a gymnast bend their knees or separate their legs, that could occur at a small, medium, or large level. The second deduction is hip raise. Anytime you see a gymnast deviate from a perfect straight line.
Brody, you mentioned at the top of the show the dynamic of the team competition at NCAAs, and I think it's because of the brotherhood, isn't it? These guys train year in and year out, and they build this brotherhood that, it's all on the line here for your team.
Absolutely.
And that's really the goal at these national championships. That's what makes this really a special event.
Yeah, absolutely. And gymnastics in and of itself is a pretty individual sport, especially when you're growing up, competing in club. But once you get to the NCAA level, it really becomes about the team and not about the individual. So it's something that you go through together. I mean, you go through an entire preseason and competition season with these guys. They're not just your teammates. They become your brothers. And that was my favorite experience while I was at Stanford, just, being a part of a team,
Okay, so here we got, in this next rotation, Greenville will be on the floor, Nebraska on the pommel horse, California on the ring, Springfield on vault, Oklahoma on parallel bars, and Ohio State will be on the high bar. So you can watch an individual stream of each of those events. Follow your favorite team. Once again, Oklahoma has a lead in this team competition, 3.2 ahead of Nebraska, followed by Ohio State and Cal. Those are the top 4. And Fuzzy Benas getting the parallel bars set just right. Every gymnast seems to have their favorite formula. How much water, how much honey, how much chalk, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everyone has their own little formula that they use.
It's all legal, by the way. You can doctor it up with whatever you think gives you the best grip.
Absolutely. I know I've tampered with everything from pancake syrup to corn syrup to Coca-Cola, sugar water.
You can see when these things through the bottom of the parallel bars, enormous torque on those hands, and you better have a good grip on those bars.
Absolutely. I'm very picky about my grip when I go on P-bars. Really strong start for Fuzzy here. Nice front uprise hop half. get into support element groups now.
Talk a little bit more as the show goes on about element groups and requirements that the judges are looking for, but this guy has it all, doesn't he?
He does. He's just one of those athletes. When he raises his hand, you know it's going to be a hit, and it's going to be a good hit.
Never forget last year at the national championships, he hadn't competed all around all year, and then he goes up and he crushes it in the team final.
Let's check out this dismount again. This is a double front with a half twist. Oh, my gosh. And I would say he probably sticks that more than 90% of the time.
Owen Carney now for Springfield on the vault, the senior out of Sterling, Massachusetts. Oh, my. Oh, that looked like tough on the knees.
Yeah, that one.
Oh.
He's okay. He looks like he's okay, but that was a little squirrely on that landing.
Oh, I'm not going to watch it. You go ahead and call the replay.
Great job in the air here. You can see he spots that ground. Just, landing with his knees a little bit too straight.
That's incredible torque and strain as they launch themselves high in the air and have to literally stick it like a dart into a dartboard. That is incredible. It's a tough guy to be able to handle that landing and not be carried off. Wyatt Reynolds will be next up for Nebraska on pommel horse. They got off to a solid start. They're currently second in the team competition.
Pommel horse is one of those big events that you've got to make sure that you're hitting these routines. It's really important. It can be one of those make or break events for a team competition like this.
And for Oklahoma on the right side of your screen, Ignacio Yockers, who won the Scholar Athlete of the Year last night at the NCAA team banquet, coming after Fuzzy Benas at a 13.766 to lead them off.
See just the dismount on the pommel horse. Oh my gosh, that was a really strong start for Nebraska right there. That's exactly how you want to start.
Yockers, of course, he's known as an exceptional pommel horse worker. We'll see him there today as well. But he has contributed on parallel bars and rings for the Sooners as well. 4.0 student his entire career as a Sooner.
Wow. It's been a great routine so far. Should be gearing up for the dismount here. Nice double pike. A 3/10 step backwards, but that's a solid routine right there. Very nice. You can see he spots the ground right there, just over-rotated a little bit.
He has represented his home country of Spain, and his mother is from Spain in international competition. He was the pommel horse champion last year, the Spanish Nationals. Ohio State moves to high bar in this rotation. Jacob Harmon now for Ohio State on high bar.
Very nice mount there, the legs together, endo. You don't see that from a lot of guys.
Oh, so nice.
That was really fingertips there.
Beautiful. I love it when they hang those release moves out there.
Gosh, yeah. It's a little bit scary. Can you find it? Oh, that was a really strong start.
No kidding. The Ohio State Buckeyes Last year they didn't make it into the team final, but they're number 5 in the country, and boy, do they fly here.
Let's see how fingertip this was. Oh, just barely got those dowels over the bar.
Didn't even get his thumbs around the bar before he went.
That can be scary.
Oh, that's great stuff. And I've often said gymnastics is the original extreme sport. Some of the things these guys do are crazy.
Oh, my goodness.
And you too, my friend.
Oh,
my
yeah.
Goodness.
I've caught many releases like that. It's not exactly fun.
Ethan Poole now on floor.
See that judge on the side there raising that yellow flag. Means he stepped out of bounds. So if an athlete steps out of bounds with 1 foot, that's a 1/10 neutral deduction. If he steps out of bounds with both feet, that's a 3/10 neutral deduction.
Ethan Poole with Greenville. They had 2 scores so far. Ricard had a 12-1 and Tyler Hinson a 12-9-3-3. It's just the 4th year of this program at Greenville, which is in Illinois. Zach Peters, a former Nebraska gymnast, is their head coach for both the men and the women. He's just done an outstanding job getting them to the top 10 in the country in just a few short years.
Yeah, on our call with him before this, he's just one of those guys. He's definitely got that rub some dirt on it mentality. I think him and I would get along really well. Oh, yeah, nice stuck double pike there. Yeah, he's pumped about that one. That was a great routine. So we can see here on this opening pass, the front double pike. He does it really well. He's just, you can tell he's amped. He's got that juice, and he just goes just out of bounds, and you can see the judge raise that card there. So he only stepped out with 1 foot, so that's a 1/10 neutral deduction.
Plus, of course, about 3/10 or so for the step itself. Right?
Yes.
But there's an additional 10th for going out over the line. Caleb Ocasio.
That was an awesome vault.
For Springfield. Man, he launched that thing.
He launched it. That was a really high vault.
Took off in Champaign, almost landed in Urbana. Did you see how far he went from that table?
On rings for California.
It's a critical performance here for Cal.
So rings here is all about those strength positions. And the biggest part of this is holding them long enough. You have to hold each strength position for 2 seconds here.
Mateo Bardana, one of the top scorers in terms of his contributions all year long, but unfortunately has had some late season injuries that have limited him. Normally an all-arounder.
Moving towards the end of his routine here. Gearing up for the dismount. Wow, very nice double-double.
Okay.
That was a great routine for Cal.
Their scores over there are 13-3 and 13-1 for Underhill and Mitchell.
Let's take another look at this dismount. See how high he goes. And he just kicks out on that last half turn there, and you can see how he just spots the ground.
Oh, this is going to be a great routine. I've watched this young man all year long. Nathan Roman, a freshman at Oklahoma. Where do you see the technique and precision on this routine?
This is one of those athletes that has been on the junior national team for a while now. And one of the cool things that we've been doing on the U.S. national team is we've been doing joint camps with the juniors. So the seniors and juniors together. And he's one of those athletes that is just so fun to be around. And it's fun to be around all those athletes, just the energy they have and, you know, the passion for the sport. And he's definitely one of those guys. He's doing a great P-bars routine here.
He is the Mount Pacific Parallel Bar champion, had a 14.7 to win their conference.
Be a dismount on the
York
side.
on the right side of your screen on the pommel horse. top 20 in the NCAA on this event.
This has been a great routine so far. They can just fly up to the dismount. Yep.
I think Nebraska is going to be very happy with their pommel horse scores, all of them between 13-3 and up. So pommel horse is one of those events, if you can score in the mid-13s, you got a pretty darn good team score going forward.
Absolutely. Like I was mentioning before, it's one of those events that can be a make or break for a team competition, and it's always kind of a sigh of relief when you can get 4 hit routines on pommel horse.
Drake Andrews for Ohio State on high bar.
Should see some big releases here. That's called a Coleman. That's a double backflip over the bar with a full twist. He'll do another one here with no twist. That's called a Kovacs. He caught those beautifully.
And on the right side of your screen for Cal is Sam Cerlincion. Mateo Bardana before him had a 13-2.
Just the dismount on high bar. Wow. Drake has just been a solid competitor for Ohio State this year. Back to the rings, just the dismount here. Wow. You can see he's happy with that one.
Just seems like that double-double off rings, tucked double-double, is almost like a compulsory dismount anymore. It's really difficult, but almost everybody can do it now.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those hard dismounts, and it's one of those, like, as a junior when you're training, that's the goal dismount for a rings routine. And I worked for years and years and years at it. Let's take a look at some of the strength that he does here. Back up rise to a straight planche here. The judges are looking for them to be completely flat like a table.
It's interesting, a lot of the teams choose to use dark-colored pants. And this is a strategy, isn't it? Explain that.
Absolutely. So usually in arenas like this, the ceiling can be kind of dark. And the judges, they're on the floor. You can see they're looking up at the athletes. So it can be kind of a strategy to wear dark-colored uniforms so that they can't see the deductions as well. They won't be able to see those knee bends or those, little toe flickers as much.
Can't blame them, I got to say. Take every advantage as you can.
Absolutely. Right? Use every rule to your advantage.
Christian Grahowski, their final competitor on high bar for Ohio State.
Wow, that's a really cool way to mount.
Oh, no kidding. He's 7th in the NCAA on this event. He can really swing.
That's called a Wallstrom. We will not see many of those. That's a very hard skill. Now, great layout to Tkachev. This is one of the taller athletes, so that can be pretty hard. He does it really well. Gearing up for his in-bar elements here. Really clean routine so far. You can see, because he's one of those taller athletes, he has a really beautiful line. He's just really using that to his advantage. Wow!
Oh! Isn't that something? I remember that from last year.
Yeah.
No tap, double-double.
No tap into the dismount. Not a lot of people do it like that.
That's insane. How about this mount?
Oh, my gosh. This is called a Wallstrom here. So he does 1.5 twists over the bar and then recatches it. Let's take a look at this dismount. So no tap into it.
That's
just kind of lets go. Oh, my gosh. And you can tell he's obviously mastered it because he just drops right into the stick there.
The coach on the floor there, they call him the Kaz, is Casimiro Suarez, a famous Cuban Olympian, and he's an assistant coach at Ohio State. Well, Greenville's had a great start. Let's go down to Lauren. She has their head coach, Zach Peters.
Coach Peters, this is the first time your program has been in the national championships as a team. What does this moment mean for you all?
Yeah, you know, obviously we're coming off of winning conference 2 weeks ago, which was incredible, right? They've worked so hard, but obviously being here at the NCAA stage with the best people here, I mean, that's just what a blessing, of course. And these guys, you know, first class, you know, it's the 4th year of the program, so good to send them off in a very great way here at NCAA's.
One of the newest programs, and we love what you said this week. You said money doesn't matter. There are no excuses.
Yeah.
Take us through that and what the tone has been set with your team.
Yeah, you know, again, you can look at your circumstances and say, man, like this sucks, or you can choose to say, no, I'm going to work with this and make the most of it. And the more you put yourself in a hole of saying, like, oh, man, this sucks, that's on you. And so I tell the guys, I don't care what we have, what we don't have, we make the most of it every single day, and that is it, no excuses. And I don't care if we're a D3, low funding, does not matter. We have a job to do, and we have a job to go up against every great team here, and that's it.
2 events down, 4 to go. What are you telling your team?
Yeah, you know, I'm telling them, like, hey, I don't care what happens. The first event, second event, we have 4 events left. I don't care if it's the best rotation ever or the worst rotation ever. We have so much more gymnastics to do, and that is all that matters. They've worked so hard to just let one routine to get in the way.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
What an outstanding coach. Zach Peters, a former All-American at Nebraska. He's your kind of guy.
He is. No excuses. Just rub some dirt on it. Just put your head down and do the work.
He's done just an outstanding job taking that program in just 4 years here to the NCAA championship. So that ends the second of 6 rotations here. The Sooners still have the lead. We'll give you the update on the team scores when we come back. A lot of exciting gymnastics on the ESPN family of networks on Saturday. There's no question about it. After their show, we'll be on ESPN2 with the men's championships. And here we are in session 1. Oklahoma, Nebraska, Ohio State, the top 3. Remember, just 3 out of 6 of these teams will advance to the championship final tomorrow night. Here are the top individual qualifiers after 2 rotations. Remember, not only are we crowning team champions tomorrow, we'll be crowning individual champions event by event as well as in the all-around. Right now the top 3 teams are Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Ohio State. Keep in mind that you can follow your favorite team in this rotation. Of Ohio State is on floor, Greenville on the horse, Nebraska on the rings, California's on the wall, Springfield will be on the parallel bars, and Oklahoma moves to the high bar. Jacob Harbin now for Ohio State on floor.
Very nice way to start the routine right there. Right handspring to double front. Wow, that was a big pass right there. That's called a double-double, so 2 flips and 2 twists in the air before he lands it. You see a lot of athletes doing this scale. That is actually a requirement in the new code of points.
Ohio State currently in 3rd of the 6 teams here. They're 1.5 ahead of Springfield, who is currently in 4th. That will be the focus today. Which top 3 teams will advance to the championships tomorrow? Oh, nice.
Very nice connection pass there.
Really, Ohio State's having a solid meet, and that's what Rustam Sharipov told us on the call this week. He just needs to hit 24 for 24, do what they can do. Don't overthink it, although he used some different terms.
That was a really strong start for floor for Ohio State.
Bring him bent away on the high bar for the Sooners. Nico Greenlee on the left of your screen. William and Mary competing as an individual.
Bit of a tough landing there. Let's go back to the high bar now. Nice laid out to catch up there.
my goodness. Here's a guy who's been a mainstay in the lineups for the last couple of years for the Sooners. A fifth-year senior out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. We rarely see him miss.
I know, that's not like him. He's just a little bit too far there. I think his tap may have been a little bit off on that. But I was just going to say, it is so important for the first guy up on every single event. That's your leadoff guy. That's the guy who's going to set the tone for the rest of the rotation. You're really looking for a hit from him.
On the left side of your screen is Andres Esquivel Garza. He's second up for Greenville over there after Jacob Foster had a 12-8 in the leadoff spot.
You can see Brigham repeated that to Tkachev. Was able to get his hands on the bar this time. Wow, that was a great pommel horse routine.
And a really unfortunate start for the Sooners. They're the #1 team in the country on high bar based on their season averages.
And we talk a lot about the nerves that are going through these guys. And like we talked about before, an NCAA championships is very much comparable to an Olympic Games. As I said before, I was more nervous to compete at NCAAs than the Olympics.
You don't want to let your brothers down, right?
Absolutely.
And the national teams, like Worlds and Olympics, is often an all-star team of guys put together at the last minute to compete for the country.
Yep.
But when you grow up with the college team, you guys live together. And so it's a little bit of a different sense of brotherhood, isn't it?
Absolutely. Got Max Auden on rings right now.
Skylar Cook on parallel bars on the left of your screen for Springfield. Carl Jacob Sunderfrist had a 12-1-3-3 in the leadoff spot.
Dismount on rings. See, he landed that just a little bit short. And a good dismount on P-bars. No, he's happy with that routine.
Springfield currently in 4th place. 1.5 behind Ohio State. They're doing just an outstanding job. Started on some of the higher scoring events. As we go now to Cal's Harry Kim on the vault.
Wow, that was very powerful. So not quite as difficult of a vault as we've seen from some of the other guys, but executed very well. Let's check his form from the board to the table. It's probably a 1/10 split. Great form in the air. You can see he spots that landing there, but he was just so powerful on that he just bounced backwards.
He has deceptive power too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's good to have quick twitch muscle fibers for sure. Comes in handy on events like vault and floor. Here's Chase Davenport Mills, 11th in the NCAA.
Chase is one of those athletes that's really powerful on floor. Strong mount to start the routine. So he's really taking advantage of these connection passes.
Mm-hmm. Talk about how that contributes to your score.
Absolutely. So you want to try to maximize your potential score as much as possible. And when you do connections like that, he got 1/10 for each of those first 2 passes. So that's really helping out his difficulty score there. This is his non-acrobatic element.
Ohio State was quite disappointed last year. They did not make it into the team final. And so that's their goal this year. And it started really right after the end of the season last year. They took a trip to Puerto Rico and kind of a team bonding experience. And the team set their goals for this year. And here they are with a shot at making it through to the championship finals tomorrow.
Wow, that was a really unique way to finish their routine right there. Let's take a look at this second pass here. Front layout, punch into that front double twist. That gets him an extra 10th bonus right there. Let's take a look at this. You're not going to see a lot of athletes do that. Typically that would be just a back handspring there, but he does what's called a whip, a back whip. That is actually kind of an upgrade. It's a B skill.
Interesting situation now for the Oklahoma Sooners. We mentioned they had the lead coming into this rotation, but with a fall of Brigham Frentaway and only a 11.933, Brandon Zepeda-Orth followed up with a 13.666, which is a very good score on high bar. So they need 2 more hit routines, because remember, in men's gymnastics, 4 up, 4 count. Not much room for error.
High bar is one of those events that Fuzzy is just really naturally gifted at. He understands the way the bar bounces and can really use it to his advantage. We'll see right here with this first big release move there. It's called a Casina. Oh, and that's another one. Those are both double backflips over the bar with a full twist. And that first one, it's a very, very hard skill, and he just does it. He makes it look effortless.
Sure does, and he very aggressive. It's not like he's holding back on any of these skills.
He's definitely not being timid here. He's going to gear up for the dismount. Can he stick it? Oh! All right, that was a great routine.
So after that fall for Frentaway, 2 good hit routines for the Sooners. Sam Rakita for Nebraska. Max Auden had only an 11.933 in their leadoff spot. Ty Rodriguez, 13.133. So Nebraska needs to pick up their scores here a little bit.
You can tell this guy is just so strong. Oh my gosh, 2 Maltesers in the routine. You can just see by his body position on that. He's completely flat. He's holding it for the full 2 seconds. Really not giving the judges anywhere to take deductions. A little bobble there. That's really been the only issue so far in the routine. Oh! And a stuck dismount.
It's an important event for Nebraska because at the Big Ten Championships, they had sort of 2 costly mistakes on rings and parallel bars, which really hurt them in the team competition.
Let's take a look at that dismount. 2 flips and 2 twists. It's a very popular dismount. We're going to see that a lot today. Oh my gosh, just drops right into it.
Eight times Nebraska has won the NCAA championship. Had a streak there from about 1979 through about 1983, where they won 4 in a row. Oklahoma Sooners have won 12 NCAA championships, but their last was back in 2018. This is the best team shot that they've had in quite a while. Here's Nico Hamilton after Fuzzy Benas at a 13.066. This is critical routine for the Sooners.
Wow, really strong start though there. He's opting to get his in-bar skills out of the way at the beginning of his routine. Every athlete's different in that some athletes want to get that stuff done early, some want to get the release moves done early. It really just depends on the athlete and the construction of the routine.
Hamilton, this year's conference champion on high bar with a 14.3, so he's got huge potential here. Yes.
Yep.
Just what the Sooners needed after that miss early. 3 hit routines.
3 hit routines. That's the best that you can ask for right there.
Asher Cohen will be up on ring. Sam Rakita had a 13.666. Some of these scores may look a little funky. There's actually, the reason that is because there are 5 judges and they drop the high and low and they average the 3 scores in the middle. That's why we get some unusual numbers here. Jasper Smith-Gordon for California on vault on the left of your screen.
Great vault there for Cal. You can tell Asher is just one of those rings guys. You see just how much control he has.
Oh, unreal.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That was a phenomenal routine.
The senior team captain, two-time All-American on rings. You can see why.
Let's take a look at this right here. This is called an Azarian to Maltese. That is extremely hard to do. Oh my gosh, and you can see he's level with the bottom of the rings. He's not giving the judges any deduction to take.
And this guy is the prototypical rings guy. He's a little shorter than the rest of the guys. He's enormously strong. Pound for pound among the strongest athletes in the world.
Oh,
right there.
absolutely.
No question about it.
Absolutely. Let's take another look at this dismount.
Drilled it.
Just drops right into it. Oh my gosh.
So they needed that hit because Max Auden had only an 11.933 in their leadoff spot. But Asher Cohen with a 14.4. That's a huge score on rings.
Gymnasts, this concludes your third rotation. Please march to your next event. And for the fourth rotation, Oklahoma will be on the floor. Ohio State.
All right, let's go down to Lauren Sisler. She's with the stand-in coach for the weekend for the California Golden Bears, Donathan Bailey. Lauren?
Yeah, one of the more unique storylines here with Donathan Bailey here for Cal. He's the acting head coach right now, so you, of course, competed at Cal, and now this is your first season as a coach, and now you're the head coach as Brian Del Castillo is awaiting the birth of his first child. And so what has this moment been like for you as you've stepped into this role?
Yeah, honestly, Brian, throughout the whole season, I think was maybe gearing up for this, and so he's spent a lot of moments trying to prepare me, having me lead practices, having me lead competitions, making lineups, and I think he put me in a really good position to come in here and be the leader of the team.
And, of course, we have to give a shout-out to Brian making a good dad-husband move by staying at home with his wife as she awaits that. Now, question for you, just what has that communication been like throughout this process during this time here as you've been here in Illinois?
Yeah, at first it was, a lot of texts, some phone calls, trying to decide what our lineups would be, how guys were looking, but I think as we started getting into the week, he started seeming to trust me more and more and more, and there hasn't been quite as much communication. Obviously, we're still texting him, letting him know what's going on, but I think he trusts me, and I think he set me up to be successful here.
All right, quick message to the team here in the last 3 rotations.
It's not over yet. Let's get after it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And you can see after 3 rotations, Cal currently in 4th place, but just 3 teams will advance. The top 3 go to the championship final, so all of that is on the line today here in Champaign, Illinois. And welcome back to Champaign, Illinois, Session 1 of this 2026 NCAA Gymnastics Championship. This is the national qualifier to tomorrow's team championship. Top 3 teams currently Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Ohio State. California 1.599 behind Ohio State. So all eyes will be on that battle for 3rd and 4th. There's Oklahoma and Nebraska right now, based on their standings throughout the season, are where they belong in 1st and 2nd. Remember, it's chance to watch all of the routines for your favorite team. So in this rotation, the 4th rotation, Oklahoma's on the floor, Ohio State on horse, Greenville on the rings, Nebraska on vault, California moves to the parallel bars, and Springfield on the high bar.
This concludes your 4-minute warm-up period.
We mentioned earlier that there are some individuals competing here. They are athletes who were on teams that didn't qualify here as a full team. However, these athletes are deserving of a shot at a All-American title or even a national championship title. So on the left of your screen, Michael Wiener from William & Mary, and Christian Grachowski on horse on the right of your screen on pommel horse for Ohio State, currently in third of the 6 teams.
We see here on the right side of the screen, Christian. He's definitely one of those pommel horse guys. You can tell he's a little bit taller. He has great extension here. That's exactly what the judges are looking for. They don't want to see any bend or pike in those hips. Some really cool traveling elements here, doing those in a flared. Into the rush and dismount. Really strong start for Ohio State. This is going to be one of those events for Ohio State, like we were talking about before. This can be a make or break event for a team event. And this is something that they need to put up 4 really strong hits on.
They have a very experienced pommel horse routine. The next 3 athletes up for Ohio State are all seniors. I'm quite confident there.
A strong routine on floor there.
Luke Tully now competing for William & Mary as an individual on vault.
Wow.
That was really nice.
That was a very nice Yurchenko. That's the first Yurchenko style vault I believe we've seen today.
Really great form and technique. Tucker Yasunaga will be up for California on the parallel bars. California, once again, just about 1.6 behind third place Ohio State. California currently 9th ranked in the country on this event. So they really need some impressive scores here. They're going to advance to the team championship for tomorrow. Yasunaga, the junior from Champaign, Illinois. He's a hometown kid.
Oh, a little bit of mistake there. That was supposed to go right to handstand. Left the room some room open for judges to take a lot of deductions on that. But he looks like he's settling into his routine.
On the right side of your screen is Oklahoma's Sasha Bogosnik.
All right, and a stuck dismount on P-bars. So we talked a lot about not letting the routines get away from you. So that was important, that even though he had that mistake early on, he was able to bring the routine back, kind of settle into it, and finish strong with a stuck dismount. And wow, that was actually a really cool
full twisting dive roll.
Full twisting dive roll.
I love that throwback skill. That was from my era, buddy. I love it. He is the current conference runner-up on floor exercise, the freshman from Buffalo Grove, Illinois.
Sasha, another one of those athletes that's been consistently on the junior national team and that I've gotten to spend a lot of time with at these joint senior-junior national team camps. Man, these guys are just fun to be around.
His father competed in the 2004 Olympics in Greece.
Dismount here. Oh, you can see he's checking to see if he stepped out of bounds there. That was a strong routine. Take a look at this first pass.
Remember, you're allowed to step on the line, the tape, but you can't go over the tape, any part of your body. So,
see, his toe just got out there, but that's a really hard first pass. 2/10 connection bonus for that. Right. Let's take a look at this full twisting dive.
Oh, isn't that fun?
Oh my gosh, I would land straight on my head.
Try that off a diving board sometime. It's a blast. It's like the easiest skill in the routine, but you liked it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Back to vault for Nebraska.
Oh! Wow, that was a really strong start for Nebraska. Oh my gosh.
Nathan York just drills it in that leadoff spot for the Cornhuskers. Mateo Bardana on parallel bars on the left of your screen after Tucker Yasunaga scored a solid 12-6. Ooh.
Really unique skill there, going off the side of the bar. Then kit back up. Oh! Another stuck dismount.
We mentioned earlier he came into this meet injured, but he's done his part so far for the Cal Bears to help them try to qualify through.
Let's take another look at this vault here. So we're looking from the board to the table. Are his feet glued together? Just slightly separated, but that form in the air is so good. You see he spots that ground, just drops right into the stick. That is a really strong start for Nebraska.
14-2-6-6 for Nathan York. Conan Simpkins now after Grauhofsky had a 13-2 and Jace Hashimoto 13-2-3-3. So good scores for the Buckeyes here on Pommel Horse, one of their best events.
Oh, and that's a really hard skill to do. That's called a sonde. Oh, and then he does it again as an entry into the single pommel work there. That actually gives him a 10th upgrade for that skill. Oh, so that was a great routine, but you can see there he's a little disappointed with it. He was supposed to do a pirouette on that dismount.
Right.
So actually he's only going to be given a C for that dismount, which means he's not going to be getting the full element group or requirement. So his start value should drop 3 to 4 tenths from there.
You mentioned a C. The skills are rated A to G, basically, maybe even higher now. An A is worth 1/10, a B is 2, C is 3, and so on. Vault's a little bit different. There's just one start value for a vault.
Almost stuck that one. Man, Nebraska's just really strong on vault. Let's take another look here.
This is the #1 team in the country on vault based on their season averages.
See, he's got a little bit more leg separation than the last guy. He just breaks out.
See how high he finished.
That's exactly what the judges are looking for. There's actually a deduction that the judges can take called a lack of prep deduction. So if they can tell that you're not really prepared for the landing, then that's a deduction that they can take. So he definitely did not get that deduction.
He was airborne for a long time. Fuzzy Benas now, 5th in the NCAA on this event based on his season average.
Really hard opening pass there. It's a back 2.5 twist punch to a double front. That gives him 2/10 of connection bonus. That's one of those passes that I tried to do back in the day, I guess, and I could just never get it nailed down. It's a really hard pass. Oh my gosh. A back triple full down the side there. We don't see that a lot.
Last year's bronze medalist in the NCAA all-around. Mentioned before, last year he was dealing with a hand injury, an Achilles injury, a thumb injury. This year it's a shoulder injury, but somehow when the NCAA show up, the guy's money is
he's just good to go. It's like magic. Must be all the duct tape.
Oh my.
Wow. He is just a sticking machine. Let's see if he can stick this. Dismount here. Oh! Little low on that. I believe he may have put his hands down there.
We talked about how the quality of gymnastics we're seeing here at these NCAA championships. This is world class on every level. Parker Thaxton, Ohio State.
Yeah, and you can see here he is definitely a pommel horse guy. He's super tall, lanky. Just, you can see how flat his circle is. And everything he's doing just seems so controlled. He has full control of his body on this event. And this was a great routine.
Oh, man. They'd already had a good setup. He had 3 good scores, all 13-2 or better. And that is a guy who will not only hopefully lead his team into the finals, but he'll have a shot at a national title on this event as well.
Oh, absolutely. Let's take another look at his dismount. The judges want to see you flying up into the dismount. No hesitation, no strength used at all. Oh, my gosh, and he just does that perfectly.
Scored a 14.65 at the Big Tens. Anybody who can score in the 14s on pommel horse is world class.
Absolutely, and we're definitely going to see that today.
Wow. Nico Hamilton for the Sooners delivered a high bar routine that was spectacular at the end of that last rotation. He's waiting on his turn. Still waiting on the score for Fuzzy Benes for the Sooners. I mentioned earlier there's 5 judges. High and low scores are thrown out, and they average the 3 scores in the middle to determine the final score. Here is Mateo Bardana from California. Coming after Cayenne Orion had a 13.233.
A little bit of a bobble there at the beginning. See if he can settle into this. Wow, that's a really impressive skill there. A few little hand movements on the P-bars. Oh, and that's a big mistake.
Oh, brutal.
Oh, man, he looks like he's hurting a little bit.
He came into this competition injured already. We talked about that at the top of the show, how many of these athletes have just endured a grueling season, and that certainly didn't help.
He's going to repeat the skill much better that time. Into the dismount. Yeah, that's just one of those fluke accidents. Sometimes that happens. That's gymnastics. Let's go back to Nico on floor here. Solid dismount to end his routine.
All right, so something interesting just happened for Cal on parallel bars. They went out of order based on the order that they... We'll talk about this after Bardana. Oh. Ooh.
That did not look good at all. Yeah, he's hurting over there.
Remember, in this rotation, California was 4th spot. Not only did Bardana have a fall, but one of their athletes competed out of order, which results in a neutral deduction of 0.2 of a point off the team score. So we'll try to get a further explanation of what happened, but we've just been informed of that.
Wow. All right, you can see right there, that was a great vault. But he landed 1 foot out of bounds right there, so that will be a 1/10 neutral deduction.
That's Chase Mondi, and of course, look at all their scores on vault, 14 or better. Take a look at what happened here on this vault.
You can see right here, just a little crooked off the table. He starts drifting to the left there, lands with 1 foot out. You can see he's keeping that other foot in bounds because he knows if he goes out with both, that's a 3/10 neutral deduction. Great form in the air, though. Just got to straighten that up a little bit.
He's a top 10 vaulter in the country based on his season averages. Let's go back to Cal on bars and see if they can get it back together. The score for Bardana was an 11.266. This is Theodore Roald Gatterud.
unique skill to start his routine right there called a Bobzar, named after Raj Bobzar, which was a decorated U.S. gymnast back in the day. I'm sure Bart can tell us a little bit about Raj.
Gadarud, the senior from Norway. Oh, a little short on that dismount. He's last year's MVP for California in terms of his scoring contributions. This year he's doing a few less events. He's another one of those athletes who's trying to sort of protect his body through to the 2028 Olympics. He's certainly one of the leaders on the program, according to their head coach, Brian Del Castillo, who...
Take another look at this dismount here. Just kicked out a little bit too early there. Just needed to hold on to his legs a touch longer, keep that body rotating forward.
Well, the Nebraska Cornhuskers are having a heck of a day, and their vault was outstanding. Let's go down to Lauren, who's with their head coach, Chuck Schmelka.
Chuck, you're showing me your shirt here, and it's significant, and it means something special. Show them your shirt there in honor of Jim Hartung, longtime assistant, was with you for over 2 decades. Competing for him this season, what has this meant for you all?
Well, it's been tough, I can't lie. But one thing good that came out of this, our team is so tight. And the guys have just rallied around. Everything they do is for Jim. His boys were at the banquet last night for him to accept his award that he won. So it's as hard as it's been super rewarding for our staff and myself. Just to see our team rally around something so cool. When you don't even know if they like us ever, you know, as coaches, you know, they're like, whatever. So it's special, yes, very special.
And Jim, certainly very special for this program, exemplifying resilience in the best way. How has your team really stepped up and honored him in that way through all the injuries that you have faced this season?
They just bounced back, and that's what he did when he was an athlete, and that's what he expected when he was a coach. And the guys know that, and they just accept the role, and they just do it.
And what would Jim be saying right now about your performance so far?
Say, Chase, why did you land out of bounds on vault? You could do better, and now let's go kill parallel bars.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jimmy Hartung, one of my Olympic teammates back in 1984, a longtime rival and a cherished friend, passed away this winter, and dealing with throat cancer for the last several years, but he's one of the heart and soul members of the U.S. gymnastics team, and of course his contributions to the Nebraska Cornhuskers are legendary. We'll step away and we'll come back with the 5th of 6 rotations. Currently, Nebraska has the lead here in Champaign. We're back here at Champaign, Illinois. The Nebraska Cornhuskers currently have the lead. Remember, just the top 3 will advance to the championship final tomorrow night. So right now it's Nebraska, Oklahoma, and Ohio State. After that debacle for California and the misses and the deduction for going out of order, California is now 7.2 back and significantly behind Ohio State in terms of earning that 3rd spot. So how do we explain what just happened? The athletes went out of order, which is a neutral deduction. When men's gymnastics, I misspoke, it's a 1-point deduction.
Yeah, it's not 2/10, it's a 1-point deduction. So the teams have to submit the lineups before the competition, and if you go out of order, the judges have the specific lineup, and if you go out of order, it's a 1-point team deduction. So that's not a mistake that you want to be making, especially on this stage when it's so crucial. Every 10th counts towards qualifying for day 2.
The 2 athletes that went out of order, Cayenne Orion and Mateo Bardana, flip-flopped, and that is the result of a 1-point deduction off their team score for competing out of order. Now, in this 5th rotation, wow, we go to the floor. Michael Dalton
That was a really cool skill to start out with, a back 3.5 twist.
Springfield on floor exercise. Currently in 5th of the 6 teams here competing this afternoon.
Wow, back triple full. You can tell this guy's just exceptional at twisting. A lot of guys will have certain specific things that they're really good at, and obviously he is a phenomenal twister, and he's taken full advantage of that. New rule in this code of points is that dismounts have to be a double flipping element. So typically in years past, you'll see a lot of people dismount with a back triple full or a back twisting skill, like a lot of what we just saw from him. But this new change, you have to dismount with a double flipping element. So we'll see that from all of the athletes here today.
On rings for Ohio State, Christian Grachowski. And Ohio State's in 3rd. Cal has dropped significantly to 4th. They're on high bar. That's Jackson Mitchell leading them off here in rotation 5.
Really high fly and release move right there on high bar from Jackson. Great Tkachev work. A great routine for Christian on rings. Seen a lot of those tuck double-double dismounts, and we're seeing a lot of sticks as well. Oh, and then Jackson also with the stick on high bar. And he is pumped about that.
Jackson is jacked. I mean, look at that guy.
He's huge. Let's take another look at this dismount here. See how high he goes. Just drops right into it. No question about it.
The perfect name for that guy.
Oh, my, yeah, he's jacked for sure. Don't mess with him.
Ignacio Yakers, this guy is world class on the fin. Top 5 in the NCAA. Not only competing here for the Sooners, but will be in contention for another national title here on pommel horse as an individual. Just beautiful technique and form.
You can see he's just really stretched open. Great body position here. Just a dismount left. A little hesitation on that. That won't be much deduction, but he's happy with that routine.
He scored over 14 in 6 out of 7 meets this year, and anybody who can score in the 14s on pommel horse is just, out of sight.
Great extension here. And his traveling elements.
I mentioned earlier that Yakers had been acknowledged last night as a student athlete of the year for his perfect grade point average. His mother was a tennis player at Oklahoma, and his father was on the track team.
Wow.
So, Peyton Contini on rings for Ohio State. Grachowski had a 12-9 in that leadoff spot.
Nice backup rise to flange there. Lower into the Maltese. Melting a little bit there. So it'll be a small deduction. Now he's at the part of the routine. He's getting close to the dismount. He's getting those giant elements in. Another tuck double-double. Just under-rotated that a little bit. Had to take a big step forward.
Look, he was running out of gas a little at the end of that routine. Those strength moves are just depleting, aren't they?
They are. They're hard. They take so much energy. You see here. Now he's lowering down into that Maltese, and you can see that's just one of those skills that's so hard. It takes so much energy.
Judges are looking for the gymnast to hold that steady for 2 full seconds in that Maltese position. And as you mentioned, he was melting a little bit throughout that skill. Matt Seiler on pommel horse for the Sooners. Yonkers led them off with a 13-9-3-3.
Great start for Oklahoma there. Great score.
Nathan York on the right of your screen for Nebraska. Currently, Nebraska has the lead over the Sooners, who now have 2 hit routines on pommel horse. Nebraska and Oklahoma separated by 1.7 here in the 5th rotation.
Really difficult skill right there. It's called a makuts. To Pelt. Should see a dismount here. Double front half. Oh my gosh.
Just floats it out.
Floats. Just drops into that landing. Take another look at this dismount here. Just, oh, so floaty. He knew exactly where he was the whole time.
Nebraska doing a nice job today. 13-5 for Caden Clinton in the leadoff spot. We'll come back for the score for Nathan York as we go to rings for Ohio State. David Ramirez.
Strong start to their team with a kip to a Maltese. Remember, the judges are looking for 2-second holds on these, and that timer starts as soon as the athlete stops in the position.
Sometimes it feels like a really long 2 seconds.
Absolutely it does. Now he's getting into the swinging elements of his routine.
Montini before him had a 12-4-6-6. Grahowski led them off with a 12-9.
See another double-double here. So this is his straight planche there. Drop right down into the iconic iron cross.
Ramirez, a sophomore from Nimpono, California, competes often in the all-around for this team. As Chuck Schmelker said, this is a completely new Nebraska team than last year. A lot of guys with 8 freshmen and several inexperienced competitors. Here we go to horse again for the Sooners. They have a 13-9-3-3 for Yonkers and Matt Seiler, 12-9-6-6. Here's Tyler Flores.
Great start here. A little bit of a bobble there. So the judges are looking for not just the extended open hips, but they want to see that body position throughout the entire routine. So every time you have a body check, if you're piking or extending a little bit too much, that can be a 10th off every single time you do it. So they're really looking for a solid body position there that doesn't change.
On parallel bars, this is Alex Natachi. 14-2 was the score for Nathan York just before him. Oh my goodness.
Oh, a little bit of a, well, not a little bit.
Keep in mind, Nebraska and Oklahoma coming into this rotation just separated by 1.7. A fall cost the team 1 point minimum. So this team battle gets a little more interesting here in the 5th of 6 rotations. Ohio State still solid on the rings. Jesse Pakale, final competitor after David Ramirez had a 12-8.
Do you think that's something that's in the back of these athletes' minds right now? Them being ahead of OU? Oh, come on, Alex.
I don't know. You seem to try to stay dialed in on what you're supposed to do, but there's another full twisting double.
He's done that dismount for a while. He's very good at it.
Pakele, really nice execution here. Yes.
Yep. Another beautiful double-double dismount. just launches himself up there.
Tucker Yasunaga coming after Mateo Bardana had a 12.366. So the highest score for California on high bar so far is the leadoff Jackson Mitchell. We saw him. And here for the Oklahoma Sooners is Colby Aranda coming after Tyler Flores at a really impressive 13.7.
Big release on high bar there. That's a great routine for Colby.
A redshirt freshman from Grapevine, Texas. He is the conference pommel horse champion.
Oh, wow, and a stuck dismount. Let's check out this release move here. Straddled Tkachev. So if you're at home listening to all these crazy words that we're saying, all these skills in gymnastics are named after the athletes who competed them first.
Here's Asher Cohen now. After Alex Natachi fell, he scored only an 11.0. So this gets a little more interesting in the team battle, as Oklahoma has had 4 solid hits on horse. Nebraska had the lead, although it may have squandered it. They need a big score here from Asher Cohen.
He's doing a great job so far. It's hard to do that skill that late in the routine when your arms are already getting really tired. Right for the dismount here. Need a stick here. Oh, just a 1/10 step backwards.
Nebraska needs a 14.099 from Cohen right there to stay in the lead after 5 of 6 rotations. That's a tough score to get on parallel bars.
Another look at the dismount here.
And he had a little bobble in that routine, so unlikely. It's like possible the Sooners will retake the lead, depending on what score comes in for Asher Cohen. Brody, your thoughts on the competition so far? We're getting set for the 6th and final rotation. We've seen some highs and lows.
Yeah, absolutely. The idea for the first day always, when I was competing in this competition, was to come in. First day is to get the nerves out. Because, I mean, like we were talking about, it is a nerve-wracking competition. So really trying to use the first day to just, get under the lights, salute in front of the judge, really just get your nerves handled, and then using that information to do well on day 2. That's really what these teams
that's for guys at Stanford who were highly likely to qualify. But some of these guys, they're under enormous pressure just to try to squeeze through to the finals. You Stanford guys got a little spoiled. You could coast a little on the first day.
I guess so.
All right, when we come back, we'll set the stage for the 6th and final rotation. Only 3 of these 6 teams will make it through to tomorrow's championship finals. Who will it be? Currently, it's Nebraska, Oklahoma, and Ohio State. But anything can happen in this 6th and final rotation. Okay, after 5 of 6 rotations, here's the story. Remember, The key thing here today is which 3 teams will advance to the finals. And right now, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Ohio State look to be those 3 teams comfortably in that spot. Obviously, a disappointment for California, who was doing well, but had a bit of a debacle on parallel bars. There's a lot of pressure here, isn't there?
Absolutely, and that's just not a mistake that you can afford to make, especially on this stage. Going out of order and getting a team deduction of 1 point. I mean, every point matters and every 10th matters in a competition like this. I mean, it can be down to the wire of whether or not these teams are going to be able to make it to day 2.
Okay, and remember, later on tonight, session 2, we'll have, of course, the Stanford Cardinal. We'll have Michigan. Those are 2 of the favorites to advance. But remember, from tonight's session, just 3 more advance to the championship final. That's going to be thrilling as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a battle for that 3rd position as well.
Okay, can we handicap it right now, or you want to wait till then?
Let's wait.
Okay. All right, so here is the bracket. As I mentioned, tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN+. Michigan and Stanford, you know, they have together won dozens of national championships. Stanford had a run of 5 in a row, thought they were going to go for their 6th last year, but Michigan upset them at home. The real battle there, I think, based on scores, will be the Penn State-Illinois battle for who makes it in as the 3rd team from that session 2.
Absolutely, it will. It's going to be a fun one to watch.
In this final rotation, California, unfortunately, with a tough run on parallel bars, will move to floor exercise. And before they get started, Nico Greenlee will be competing as an individual for William and Mary in this rotation. Remember, you can follow all the routines of your favorite teams in this rotation. Cal's on floor, Springfield's on pommel horse, Oklahoma on the rings. They have the lead. Ohio State is on the high-scoring vault. You see on the right of your screen from Greenville on parallel bars, that's Kyler Hinson. And then on the final event for Nebraska, they're on high bar in this 6th rotation.
This has been a really good routine for Nico so far on floor. You see now he's doing his non-acrobatic elements. So you'll see all the athletes, they have to perform what's called a non-acrobatic skill, and that can be the handstand or a press handstand or a Russian element, which we just saw Nico do.
Kyler Hinson finishing up parallel bars for Greenville. They were currently in 5th of 6 teams coming into this 6th and final rotation, but that's a program that is just in its 4th year of existence, and they are the ECAC conference champions. They have a lot to be proud of for that young team that is building into a real national contender. Chase Davenport Mills will be the first vaulter for Ohio State. As we mentioned, they are over 6 points ahead of California, which is in that 4th spot. And Ohio State should just close it out here because they're on vault, which is clearly the highest scoring event.
Absolutely. So we'll see here. Chase will start us off with Yurchenko-style entry. Nice, clean Yurchenko double full there. So a lot of guys will opt to do this Yurchenko-style entry because you don't get as much leg separation from the board to the table. You can see there his legs were glued together, so it can really be a separator for these guys in the eyes of the judges. He's just so clean in the air. Just a hop and a step back. That was a great vault.
Trick Dudley will be the leadoff competitor for California on floor in this final rotation.
Huge front double pike entry.
Coming into this meet, of course, California, their goal was to make it into the top 6. But those of you who were tuned in earlier remember that their head coach, Brian Del Castillo, has stayed back home because he and his wife are expecting their first child in a few days, and so he stayed home to be with her. The assistant coach, Donathan Bailey, has been working along with Carl Zeen to keep this team intact.
See the scale element, something that new that got added into the code of points. Ooh, a little short on that after the 2024 quad ended. They always change the rules every 4 years to keep the sport interesting, I guess. Definitely keeps the athletes on their toes.
Sooners will close it out in this competition on rings. Currently the number 2 ranked team in the country based on their averages is Brigham Brentaway. And Ohio State on the vault. Chase Davenport Mills led them off with a strong 13-7. Here's Zach Snyder.
Wow. Big vault there, just didn't quite have as much rotation as he needed, so had that hop backwards. But that's still going to score really well. These swinging elements on the rings. See a dismount here. Nice double-double. Seen a lot of tuck double-doubles today on the rings.
Anthony Coffey now, the sophomore from Georgia. Your home state.
He's a Georgia boy.
All right.
Yeah, I've been around him a lot. He's a really cool kid. Really cool connection there. So he does what's called a talk half, which was that end-bar skill directly connected to the Takacho. That can be really challenging. I don't think we're going to see that a lot this weekend.
There's a triple back somersault, the first one we've seen today. We mentioned earlier skills are A to B to C and so on. I believe that's a G. It's worth 7/10 of a point, right?
F.
It's an
On
F?
high bar, the triple back
It's an F?
F. Yep.
So it's worth 6/10 of a point.
Yes. Let's take another look at this triple back. Oh my gosh, it's so high. And that is so hard to do at the end of a routine because you're already dizzy.
Yeah.
You're swinging around in a circle for 45 seconds, and then you have to end your routine with a triple backflip and somehow find your feet.
I only competed it one time in my life, and it scared the heck out of me. But I checked the box. I did it once.
You did it once, you're good.
At the end of a routine when I was dying. Christian Grauhovsky's having really a good day. Zach Snyder had a 13-6 after Davenport Mills led off Ohio State with a 13-7.
Oh, yeah. Another great vault there. Yeah, he's going to be really happy with that one. Just a small step or hop backwards.
Back to the rings for the Sooners. Brigham Brentaway led them off with a 13-4-6-6. Here's Nathan Roman, the freshman from California. Mark Williams acknowledged that Nathan Roman and Sasha Boganozu, those two freshmen really were critical in terms of recruiting because they filled the holes of several athletes who had graduated for the Sooners, and they just stepped into these spots with really quality gymnastics.
Absolutely. I mean, you can just tell by their technique that it's just their gymnastics foundation is just solid. So we're going to see these guys not just excel in the NCAA in the coming years, but we're going to see them on Team USA here soon. Really wanted that stick there. You can just tell he's got control of his gymnastics.
Yeah, you can always tell somebody whose foundation, basics, and skills and techniques has been well coached, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Sam Rakita will be second up now on high bar for Nebraska. 13-1-6-6 was the score for that leadoff performance of Anthony Coffey.
See here, he chose to mount with those in-bar skills. It's called the tuck half. And those two skills were exactly what Anthony connected in the last routine we saw from them.
David Ramirez will be the final vaulter for Ohio State after Grauchowski had their best score, 13-8. Oh! Sam Rakita over-rotated that triple somersault.
Wow, that was a really great vault. Let's take another look at this vault here. See here, great form in the air. Just one step. Oh, that was really close. I think he has to step on the outside of the line there. So that should not be a 1/10 neutral deduction.
Yeah.
So inches away from that 1/10 neutral.
Well, I think Ohio State will be happy with their effort today because they are comfortably in a position where they will advance into the championship final. That's not the story, unfortunately, for California. Gatterud for Cal on floor, their final competitor, Matt Seiler on rings for the Sooners. Nathan Roman had a 12-3-3.
A little bit of an easier dismount on rings there, but the strength in that routine was just really well done. See Theo getting ready for his dismount here. Excuse me, not his dismount. One last pass before the dismount.
Good finishes. Meanwhile, on high bar for Nebraska, Alex Natachi. Remember, he fell off the parallel bars in the last rotation.
That's a big release right there. That's another one of those G-valued elements that got upgraded. Oh my gosh, and another one. This is a big high bar routine.
My goodness,
oh my
they are
gosh.
not holding back. Way to go.
Those are three big release moves. We're not going to see a lot of guys do.
And a triple.
And a stick.
That is so hard
wow.
at the end of the routine to stick a triple. And in NCAA gymnastics and now in international gymnastics, you get an extra 1/10 of a point bonus if you stick.
Yeah, and that can be a real difference maker. But let's take another look at this release move. It's called a Liukin. It's a Tkachev, which we've seen a lot of people doing so far, but he does it with a full twist, which makes it extremely hard. And then we're going to see him wind up for what's called a casino, which is that double backflip over the bar with a full twist, but he does it in a laid-out position. So that's another G-valued skill. And then he does it in the tuck position. That's three really hard release moves to do in a routine. And then to end it with a triple back. And then to stick the triple back. Oh my gosh.
You mentioned Liukin. We have to give a shout out to Valery Liukin, of course, the great, former Soviet gymnast who invented that skill. He also did a triple back at his high bar routine. And he did all this about 40 years ago.
When the landing mats were just like little wrestling mats on the floor.
Right. So, okay. Finishing up for the Sooners in their final performer will be Francisco Velez-Melendez. Max Seiler had a 13.5. So this will wrap it up for the Oklahoma Sooners, who will comfortably advance.
And that is a really strong start for a Ranger team. That Azarian, the Maltese. Oh my gosh. And then to do a back apparatus to Maltese this late in the routine.
Velez-Melendez, a sophomore from San Juan, Puerto Rico.
See what he can do with the dismount here.
Tuck double-double again.
Oklahoma, they will certainly be a contender for their 13th national championship. They haven't won it since back in 2018, but they look like they have the talent and the execution to contend for a national title tomorrow night. It won't be easy, though, because Michigan, Stanford, all the big boys will be in one session at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a really, really fun competition to watch.
Natachi had a 13.366. So remember, coming into this rotation, it was Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Ohio State.
Really unique skill there. Done on the one arm with a full twist. Called a Zuli Min.
All he has to do is get through this routine comfortably, and Nebraska will advance.
Another Luke in there. Wow, into a beautiful Coleman. Nebraska's really bringing the high-flying release moves. Another one of those taller gymnasts, so he's just got beautiful lines here. Can he stick it? 2 hops backwards, okay.
Tell you what, Nebraska is a bit of a dark horse. They are really impressive this year.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, it's pretty clear now. Oklahoma and Ohio State are comfortably through, and Nebraska only needs a 6.33 from this routine from Max Auden to advance, and that will be, of course, merely academic, as that was world class.
Yeah, just perform those release moves so well. I love when teams throw these big skills, trying to get that difficulty up.
Yeah, you never shied away from going for the hard skills, did you?
Absolutely not. That was something that I was very adamant about as an athlete, and you know, Coach Tom from Stanford did. He was, you know, nice enough to let me train those skills, and you know, really use the NCAA season to just get those skills as consistent as possible. So, and that honestly, it helped me in the long run with international assignments and competing for Team USA as well.
Well, Oklahoma is going to win session 1 as expected, the #1 team in the country, and their head coach Mark Williams is down with Lauren right now.
Coach Williams, you guys have the lead going into session 2 tomorrow. What was your biggest takeaway from your team's performance today?
Well, we wanted to just get through and qualify, kind of get some of the nerves out. This probably wasn't our best lineup, so we want to put it all on the floor tomorrow.
Take us through that a little bit with strategy, because I think the biggest hindrance you've had this season is depth, but having to leave some of your elite athletes at home. So how has that played in?
Yeah, I mean, getting to the 12 was kind of the hard part. So tomorrow we're going to switch probably at least one different guy back into the lineup, and other guys we gave a little chance to have some rest. So tomorrow we'll put what we consider our A team out there.
Take us through the reset. What does tonight look like as you get ready for tomorrow?
We'll go through figuring out what our lineup will be for tomorrow, get some food, some rest, and get geared up for a great meet tomorrow.
Hey, food's always on tap. Love it. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Mark Williams and the Oklahoma Sooners. They, along with Ohio State and Nebraska, will advance. When we come back, we'll have a few more interviews with the advancing teams, head coaches, and some of the stars. Great session 1 here at the NCAA Championship. Well, the Oklahoma Sooners won session 1 by a couple of points, and they were followed closely by Ohio State and Nebraska. Ohio State had a nice day, and their head coach, Rustam Sharipov, is with our Lauren Zisler.
Coach, you guys have survived and advanced. You missed out a season ago. How significant is this for your team?
You know, it's a step into the right direction. It's nothing significant. We made the goals, you know, after the last season, what we need to do in order to be better. You know, we're not celebrating. Yeah, it's a good accomplishment. It's a 100% hit, 24 for 24. You know, I'm really proud of the guys, but the job is not done. This is nothing. You know, it's a second day. It's most important. So.
Your team mantra, SFT, see it, feel it, trust it. How did you see those guys trust it today?
No, I think they finally start trusting the process, trusting in each other. You know, I think it's taken a while to do that, and I think today they accomplished that, and I'm hoping that tomorrow it's going to be another day, and they're going to do the same. That's all what I want from them, because they're ready. They worked for that. They worked their butts off the whole summer, whole preseason, whole season. You know, they deserve to be in a second session and not just to be. You know, we've been in that situation, you know, and I don't want them just to be there. We want to contend to be in a top 4, top 3, and you know, put some pressure on the top guys. You know, so that's the goal.
Coach, you said you're not celebrating yet, but you were just over here dancing with me. Come on now.
That's just for me. That's just for me.
I love it, Coach. You can tell he's excited. Congratulations on the advancement, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Rustam Sharipov, Olympic gold medalist in 1996 on the parallel bars, brings his team into the championship final. So the meet summary: Oklahoma, Ohio State, and Nebraska. Those two, by the way, Ohio State and Nebraska, were just separated by .235 between second and third place. You see the scores there for Fuzzy Benes and the Nebraska Cornhuskers, as expected, superb on the rings. The second highest score this season. Nebraska advances along with Ohio State and Oklahoma. We mentioned earlier Nebraska competing with a heavy heart this year from the loss of their assistant coach Jim Hartung, but Chuck Schmelka is always comfortably carrying the reins for the for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and Lauren's with him now.
Coach, we always enjoy this moment to catch up with you. Survive in advance. You did it. What did you see from your team today that stood out?
Well, we did some really great things today. Then we had a couple bobbles at the end that cost us, I think, probably a higher placement, but that's okay. We came out healthy and for the most part hit. So I feel really good where we are. Tomorrow will be another battle. Three more great teams are going to get in, but we're right there. You know, 2 points out with a couple mistakes. So I'm very pleased how the guys fought and hit at the end there.
Healthy, of course, always important. Take us through the strategy as you have 2 days, 2 opportunities to focus on.
Well, the guys that are beat up, truthfully, we didn't compete today in a couple areas. So we're trying to save them for a one-shot deal tomorrow, which hopefully will get us a few points. Granted, most of them like competing twice because they're just used to the equipment, used to the surroundings and everything. But hopefully we'll do a little better tomorrow.
We know that this is very tough on the body, so what does the routine look like tonight, getting the guys ready tonight and early tomorrow?
Yeah, good. We're stretching out now, trying to roll out, get our bodies better. We'll get in the cold tank here in a little bit, and then go get some good dinner and hopefully a good night's sleep.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. All 3 teams in this session separated by less than 3 points. A solid meet. And as he said, they could have done a little bit better to move up and challenge the Oklahoma Sooners. But it's just setting the stage for tonight's session 2, which will be spectacular. And, of course, tomorrow's championship. We'll come back to wrap this one up here from Champaign, Illinois in a minute. Oklahoma should be happy, Nebraska's happy, and Ohio State 24 for 24. I think they're the only team that hit every routine today. We'll be back to wrap this up in a minute. All right, session 1 is in the books. Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Ohio State advance. All 3 teams less than 3 points separated. California, Greenville, and Springfield as complete teams. Their season is over, but some of the athletes from each of those teams will likely qualify as individuals to the championship, but not with their full teams tomorrow night. I'm Bart Connor along with Brody Malone. Brody, it's always a pleasure to work with you. We had a great session today. A lot of great competition, just setting the stage for tonight. And, of course, your Stanford Cardinals going to go, Michigan. I mean, perhaps you can sort of handicap this one because it'll be a similar battle for that 3rd place spot.
Absolutely. And Michigan, coming back defending that title from last year. And then Stanford, those are probably the top 2 contenders to make it into tomorrow's final round. But it's really going to be a battle for that 3rd position. I think, Penn State and Illinois they've been dealing with a lot of injuries this year, and so they're kind of on the same boat. And it's just going to be a battle. It's going to be really fun to watch.
Well, I look forward to being back here with you a little bit later today, and sure enjoyed today's competition. Saw some world-class gymnastics, and it gets even better tonight. So once again, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Ohio State advance to tomorrow's championship round, which is on ESPN2. Remember to stick with us because tonight at 8 Eastern will be session number 2. We'll see which final 3 teams make it into the team championship tomorrow night. For our whole crew, Lauren Sisler and Brody Malone, I'm Bart Connor. We'll see you later.